Hello, June 2nd, day of quarantine. Nope, because Texas has basically said we can all go about our business. But I am under curfew again. They expanded the curfew area, and they were kind enough to send me a notification right at 6 p.m. on my phone to let me know that I'm under curfew starting in 1 hour. So basically, get your ass out home. Which I wasn't planning on doing anything tonight anyway, so I was going to be at home. It does kind of, I wish it was at 8. If you're going to do a curfew, do it at 8. The only reason being is it's starting to get warm here in Texas because it's June, and the beast monster is behind me chewing on a rawhide bone. I usually try to walk her, and I usually take her out for a walk around 5:30, and then we walk for about 2 hours, run jog for 2 hours, because at that time of day the sun is low enough on the horizon, and the trails are all tree lined, so you don't get the glaring sun on top of you. So it makes exercising a lot more easy. But since you have to be at home by 7, that means I can't go out and do the big long walk and run with her. Because usually I go between 5:30 and 6, because then that just makes it an hour. And you'd think that'd be enough, but not for this animal. And also, I work. So the time to do it is in the evening, the early evening. So I have not had a chance to get my exercise. I didn't do it over the weekend because of all the riots going, because the trail that I go to leads right into downtown. So this is like day 5 of me not running around and exercising. And I'm feeling it. I'm like, I am ready to get out and exercise. But that's just the inconvenience. The protests are much more important than my ability to go out and walk the dog. So I'm bitching just because I'm bitching, but I'm not really seriously upset because these protests are important. Last night we had an incident in Dallas after I recorded the video. It was, I'm going to just say it was a clusterfuck. And I'm having really second thoughts about our police chief. She seems to be out of her league. She is brilliant on camera. I mean, she is a powerful black woman that knows how to show up on camera and make it sound so good and empathetic and like she's in control. But looking at what the Dallas Police Department is doing, they are so disorganized and keep creating incidents in the city. And last night just took the cake, and then today she's on the press being interviewed, and it made it sound like everything she did was correct until they started to point out her story of what happened did not jive with what was witnessed by and experienced by the protesters and by the cameras that were there. I mean, but if you heard her, it sounded like she was telling the truth. She was so convincing. Then they turned around and interviewed the people who experienced what happened, and it just completely undid her story. And the crime rate in Dallas had been down, and since she's taken over, it's gone quite back up. So she's not. This is before all of this COVID-19 and riots. So I would say great PR. She did handle one of the police shooting cases very well, where a white officer confused which place she lived in accidentally shot a person that was in their own home. And she handled the press in that very good. So she's very good at PR. But I'm really starting to have doubts about our police chief. She does not, gives good camera, but the actual job itself. So what happened on the bridge? There was utter confusion because there's this curfew that went into effect. So this protest that was supposed to happen in the curfew area, they decided to move it to outside the curfew area. And then they were kind of basically marching down the street, and they were funneled onto the Hunt Bridge, which is this major bridge in Dallas. So they're going to keep protesting as they go over the bridge. How symbolic. Well, they were met halfway across the bridge by police officers who shot at them. They had not done anything. They were shot with rubber bullets and then smoke, and the smoke, not tear gas, but just smoke bombs. So they started to retreat, and we're going to get off the bridge. And then the police on the other side boxed them in the bridge. And they were going to arrest everybody. Even though it was not in the curfew zone. They've been marching they've been doing a peaceful protest. Loud, but, still peaceful. No rioting, no looting, nothing. And they were all boxed in. And of course, everybody has technology now. One of my Facebook friends was there. He pops open his camera and he starts filming the whole thing. I mean, so we all witnessed what happened, but she was saying that she directed them to go home, and they chose to cross the bridge, and that was a violation of an ordinance of blocking a bridge when the bridge was already blocked by the police officers, and they were basically funneled onto that bridge. So she was just lying through her teeth today in her press conference. You just kind of go, this does not jive with what we all saw on our social media page last night. The county commissioner, Clay Jenkins, who I adore because he's the one who was trying to get us all to quarantine to prevent the spread of the virus. He's been so proactive and a man of science and such a calm voice, had to get involved and basically told everyone there that even if they arrested everybody, as the county commissioner, county commissioner, no one's going to get prosecuted. So quit wasting the time, the taxpayers' money, and let everybody go home and go to bed. He actually said, go home and go to bed. And so while people were being taken off that bridge to be processed, but there was like 500 people. The police said there was only 200. Looking at the footage, more like 400, 300 to 400. But it was not just barely 200, according to the police chief. It's like, ma'am, we have cameras. We can see a crowd. Anyway, but he intervened and basically nobody's going to be charged. He looked like he was over it, too. He was like, this man is handling the coronavirus crisis for Dallas, which, by the way, today we hit the record for the most new cases. We've gone well over 10,000 cases. We now lead the state in the number of deaths of coronavirus. Harris County, which is where Houston is, Houston's the 4th largest city in the United States. And Harris County is huge. It's like 3-4 times the size of Dallas County. So, but Dallas County is smaller. The Dallas-Fort Worth area is the 4th largest metropolitan area because there's so many suburbs in Fort Worth and so on. Houston is the 4th largest city. But Dallas County by itself has exceeded Harris County, which by population is a lot larger than Dallas, with the most amount of deaths. Anyway, back to Clay Jenkins. He solved the issue. Bless that man. He has his hands full to then have to intervene on this. He's like the only person with common sense. He was like, he had been watching it too. And he was like, this was a peaceful protest. And the Dallas police went overboard again. Everything was fine downtown until the crowd got shot at a few days ago. And then all mayhem broke loose and all the windows got shattered. Dallas isn't doing it right. I mean, the protesters are doing it right for the most part. It's the police. This is ridiculous. How the police is handling it. This woman does not know how to control her police officers. Anyway, I'm ranting. I'm just so, she was a person I was excited when we had as like a black woman sheriff, head of the police department. That sends such a great statement. Crime rate's up, not by little, by a lot in the city before all of this. And then the police don't seem to be happy because I work with police officers. You can just tell that they're not totally enthused with her. And I work with a lot of police officers. They don't feel like she's got their back. They haven't quite said it in those words, but that's the sentiment I pick up on things that are said when I work with the police. And then, of course, just how she's mishandling what's happening here in Dallas. But she gives a great camera. I mean, if you just saw the interviews, you thought she has it all under control. I mean, she's phenomenal on camera. Phenomenal. But that's not what makes a great chief of police. I'd rather have the Houston one. Called out Trump and told him to shut up because he's not helping. So that's what it burned. Oh, and then I guess I should mention, Trump yesterday in Washington, D.C., made that speech that I talked about yesterday about, basically turning tanks on America, like every fascist government. has done in dictatorship, oppressing the people. You know, it's bad when China is criticizing the United States for human rights. You know, there's now possible travel restrictions to the United States because they feel like this country is dangerous from internet. But we're talking about not our enemies, but some of our allies are going to caution and are considering whether their people should be allowed to come to the United States due to the political unrest and the fact that the way the president is mishandling the country, because he's got lambasted across the globe for his speech from last night, deservedly so. I'm sure Putin and Kim Jong-un liked it. But yeah, so he went to this church to hold up a Bible that he didn't open. He didn't go into the church, but he wanted to make himself look strong by holding a Bible in front of a church. So he had the Secret Service and the Washington Police and the National Guard pepper spray, bullet shoot with rubber bullets the crowd that was in curfew. They were peacefully protesting just so he could walk across the street. So he created all this chaos for photo opportunity. And you know, the photo's not even that good. The photo, he's holding up that Bible, but if you look at him, look at that photo, the man doesn't look well. I mean, he literally doesn't look well. Like something is wrong with him. You know, some people just look like they're sick. Or some people look like, you know, they're just worn out. Like exhausted. He's trying to give this really stern face, but he just looked weak. He really looked weak. I mean, he's holding up the Bible, and he's holding like it's a piece of merchandise, you know, that's going to go up for auction. But if you actually look at those photos, he don't look good. He did it supposedly so he could show his strength. I hate to say it, but somebody needs to have their glasses, because those photos of him does not make him look strong. He looks like an older man with a spray tan, which he always has, but he just doesn't. He looks tired, like something's wrong with him, like physically wrong with him. So, you know, if this is your idea of strength, you look like an old man that's kind of weak. You did all that for not even a good photo? Oh, well. Those are my thoughts for today, living under this coronavirus. Please like, subscribe, ring the notification, please. If you watch more than 2 of these videos, you should just subscribe. You won't regret it. Besides, what else do you have to do? We're all now, you know, in curfew. So we went from quarantine to curfew. Maybe not anywhere you are, but I am. Anyway, so I will post tomorrow like I've been trying to post every day. But if you watch this video tonight, have a good night. If you watch this in the morning tomorrow or in the afternoon, have a good morning or good afternoon. And I'll do my usual sign off of my silly sound and my eyes bugging out.